Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by the last year at Ali Pali. Ed, if ever a man deserved it, it's John Ryder.
He does. I've been on the back end of some tight decisions, and it was another tight decision tonight. A fight that could have gone either way. I thought the first 6 rounds, weren't that exciting, and there's a lot of posturing going on. I thought John Ryder won the back end of the fight. He was the one that was forcing the pressure. I thought he hurt Daniel Jacobs in, I think, the 9th round or the 10th round. Jacobs come back, but, it was a very, very close fight that could have gone either way.
I spoke to John in the week and he said if he looks at his losses, every single one he came out thinking, I could have done more. Did you kind of get that sort of feeling in the 12th round? I think a lot of people thinking, I don't know.
Yeah, it was very, very close. And, coming through the 9th round, you really feel that he could have gone on to try and force a stoppage in the fight. But Jacobs is a cute fighter. He's very clever, and actually he sort of took the pace down and started to change up the way he was fighting. I think he was hurt and tired in the fight as well. And look, it was that kind of fight. Maybe in the US, Daniel Jacobs wins it by a round, and over here, Ryder wins it by a round. But I felt like the pressure and the noise was coming from John Ryder, particularly, of course, in the back end of the fight.
I think people seem to just look online and take that as a kind of a negative, that in the US, Jacobs would have got it and over here, John would have got it. But that's how it works, isn't it?
It's not the way a judge scores the fight. It's the noise, it's the momentum. Sometimes a punch lands and people go mad. Sometimes one miss, and it's got nothing to do with the judges. It's just the noise and the momentum of the fight. And I felt like the momentum, of course, in the back half was very much skewed towards John Ryder. But it was a fight that could have gone either way.
What does it say about John's character, the fact that, going back to the corner in the 6th, you must have been thinking him, Tony and the team, shit, we're in deep trouble here, because he was 6 down, 5 down.
I don't think he was 6 down, but certainly 4-2 down going into the back end of the fight, and he needed to do more, but he did do more. He started to let his hands go more, and he hurt Daniel Jacobs. So it was interesting to see the fight change, and it became a really good fight in the back 6. And again, like a fight that could have gone either way. You can't, sometimes people aren't happy either way. I think what I've seen online is the general feeling is slightly more people had Danny Jacobs winning the fight. I don't know, I'll have to look at it, but I felt that at the end of it, it was like 6 apiece, and John got the victory.
And I said about the Canelo carrot being dangled there. Yeah.
Look, it's a lovely story, isn't it? And if Canelo Alvarez was going to fight in the UK, John Ryder is probably the pick, to be honest with you, at super middleweight. He's just won a world title eliminator. He's just beaten Danny Jacobs. But Canelo's obviously got business that he's going to take care of over the next sort of 6 to 9 months, and we'll see what happens with those super middleweight championships.
See, during the press conference, it was kind of billed as the loser has no way back, but looking at a fight and the skill set showed by both, and a fight on this magnitude, kind of one of them where you don't really want to see any of these boys bow, especially Danny Jacobs after that.
Yeah, he's a tremendous fighter. I just feel that, with Danny, he's achieved so much. What is there left to achieve? He's not going to go in and fight for the world championship now. So, what do you look to do? And he'll probably kick himself as well. Like, I think John would have kicked himself if he didn't get the decision. They both probably could have done a little bit more. But, I'm sure Danny will talk to Keith Connolly and see what the future holds for him.
Quick one on Johnny Fisher. Big night for him, obviously centred around the fact he had about 3,000 of his mob here. A tough night for him, but he'll learn so much now.
It was probably, and people might not agree, it was probably a little bit too tough of an opponent, bearing in mind his experience and bearing in mind what he's got to deal with that whole atmosphere. Like, he walked out tonight, he soaked it up, and he's learning. He's had 2 or 3 amateur fights. He's had 4 fights as a pro. And that guy was a decent heavyweight. You saw him take some big shots in there tonight. He went 10 rounds with Oscar Rivas. He's had, 20 fights or something like that. So, but the problem is when you sell that many tickets, you can't just give him tomato cans all the time, because people want to see him at least in something competitive. And that was competitive tonight. And he will learn so much from that. He's got so much more to come in his career. I think we'll do a little away day next. He's got a little nick above his eye. But it was a really valuable 6 rounds. He was knackered at the end. Because you don't realise what he's going through when he ring walks and he sees all that, and he's backstage and he's selling tickets and everyone's talking about the whole of Romford's coming, X is coming. It's a lot to put on a young man's shoulders, especially, this is not a kid that's come out of the Olympics or boxed in WSBs around the world. He's so inexperienced, and tonight he had a good win against a durable heavyweight.
Is it one of them where we kind of learnt a lot about Johnny in the ring, perhaps? But it's kind of nothing new, the fact that he's a novice. We keep hearing the word novice, but you band it about because it's true.
But when you face opposition that has competed against, that guy was Spanish heavyweight champion. He beat the guy who Johnny Fisher boxed in his last fight, won every round against him, right? 100 to 90. Like I said, been the distance with Oscar Rivas, boxed around the world against some very good heavyweights. They know their way around a ring. They know how to handle themselves. And against someone so inexperienced, it's going to be tough. And there was times where I was thinking maybe this was just a little bit of a step up too far, like because of the pressure. But he'll learn so much from that and he'll improve along the way.
One man who showed a lot of heart tonight, Felix Cash. He's one tough geezer, isn't he?
Tough. And, it was such an intriguing fight because, Cash was down in the second round. He won every round of the fight, in my book, apart from the 10-8 round or 10-9, what it might have been, and 10-7. But, Felix said to me after, you said that maybe I didn't deserve to win the fight. I said, no, the judges' scorecards didn't make sense because you either give it to Felix Cash by 1 round or you give it a draw. You can't give it to him by 3 rounds. It doesn't make sense. But what he showed was tremendous heart. And I hope people give Felix Cash credit for coming back against an opponent like that. He's had such a tough time out of the ring. He's had a long time out of the ring. He should have just come back in an 8 or a 10 rounder but he came back against the world number 3. And by the way, Madiev's a lot of fun. We'll have him back, yes please. And Felix will gain a lot of fans tonight because he showed tremendous heart.
When I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, he said he was adamant he wants to win a Eubank and Williams. Yeah. Obviously, we've seen that fight. Him and Chris Eubank it's banging.
It's a great fight. That's a fight people can get really excited about.
Does Eubank take that potentially at the stage he's at?
Maybe. Look, he's going to want massive fights. That's not a massive name, but it's a really good fight that people get excited about. And Felix Cash is a very, very live dog in that fight. It's a 50-50 fight, I see it, off the back of that performance. But he's also mandatory for the European, and I think that's a good fight for him next if he can't get that fight.
Just a rundown of the rest of the card. Hobie Price, a standout. I thought he was really good.
Ellie Scotney, great performance, and just the fight she needed. Grani was great. She didn't stop trying. She didn't stop coming. Hobie Price, exceptional. I think he might be the best super bantamweight in the country already now. Great win for Austin Williams against, a gatekeeper, but a very durable gatekeeper that rarely gets stopped.
And he's smiling again.
Yeah, good. It's good to see him smiling. Shiloh, great victory, and Cyrus Patterson looked great as well. It was a tremendous night, tremendous atmosphere. And on to the O2 with Okoli and Galal Yafai and Fabio Wardley and Anthony Fowler and Jordan Gill against Gurphy and Campbell Hatton and Feb 27.
I'll just ask you one more thing, Ed. Tyson Fury said that Dillian would be the 6th or 7th best win of his career. Just your take on that?
Well, we'll see. He's got to win first for it to be.
If he was to win, I suppose he said it would be the 6th or 7th best win.
But when you look at Tyson Fury's victories, you've got Derek Chisora, you've got, these are the standout wins, Derek Chisora, Vladimir Klitschko and Deontay Wilder. I don't see any other standout wins on the record. And I'm not saying, I say on paper right now he's the best heavyweight in the world. But that's the only standout names on the record. So, we'll see.
Put Steve Cunningham above Dillian Whyte.
Steve Cunningham's a cruiserweight and he was done when Tyson Fury fought him and he stuck him on his backside.
All right, Ed, thanks very much for giving me some of your time. And one more thing, boxing fans are going to want me to say this. This has to be now one of the main venues boxing, up there with the O2 now. I have to come back here.
It's difficult.
Can't leave it 12 years again.
It's a shell. So you have to put all the seats in, you have to put all the staging in, and it's really expensive. But there is something special about the Ali Pali. So thanks to everyone that came.